there, my name is Erin Cookless. I live in Homer, Alaska, about to move up 75 miles north to Kenai. My job is actually taking me up there, which will be really great because it will open up many doors for me once I finish my medical assisting degree, as far as working in clinics and different hospitals and stuff like that. I'm 30 years old. I have always known what I wanted to do, and it was something to do with medicine. I just wasn't exactly sure what. I never did quite settle down and take the steps necessary to fulfill my dreams. I worked a lot of various jobs after I got my CNA license. I did get my CNA license back in 2009, and I worked at South Peninsula Hospital here in Homer. I worked in different nursing homes and assisted livings, and then I did do some in-home private respite care as well, hospice care. The odd jobs that I have done: I've been a cab driver, I've worked retail, I have worked fast food, I've done secretary positions, I worked on the docks down here in Homer, and I've worked at auto parts stores. I then carried on to get my CDL. I drove school buses, and I now work for FedEx. Ever since I can remember, I did grow up around medicine. My dad served 28 years in the Army, and while he was in the military, my mom was going to night school for her nursing license. I remember as a little girl that she would sit up at her desk and do her homework at night, and I would sit up there with her and I would look at her books and I would see what she was writing and what she was reading and what she was watching. Most of it I did not understand, but I was still completely fascinated with it. Once she graduated, I would go to work with her sometimes at night. She got a job at an Alaska Native Medical Center up in Anchorage, and she did acute care, and I would sit at the nurse's station and read more medical books, just watch from afar and seeing what people were doing. I just wanted to be in the atmosphere and be around there. So what started all of this for me? I did go to 4 different high schools because my dad was in the Army. Both of my first high schools were in Missouri. They were both in Waynesville, but the first one was overcrowded, so they had to build a second one. We were the Waynesville Tigers. So that was in my freshman year. Moved back to Alaska, and I finished my freshman year at Chugiak High School. So that was the end of my freshman plus my sophomore year. We were the Chugiak Mustangs. And then I transferred over to Eagle River High School. We were the Eagle River Wolves. And that's where I ended up graduating from because Chugiak, like Waynesville, got too overcrowded, so we had to transfer. In high school is where I started making my poor decisions. Once graduation hit, unfortunately, I did not go to college and follow my peers and my friends. I decided to just work odd jobs to get myself by and do what I could do and continue making poor choices. In this time, I did not develop any friendships, and I did not surround myself with people who would follow me through life or hold me accountable for my actions. I did make one best friend at my first job when I was 16 years old. Her name is Alicia. We still talk every single day. It's been 14 years. She is my best friend in the whole entire world. I did have other meaningless friendships or relationships, but they weren't real. It was just to have somebody there to fill a void and be present in my life. I also did have medical issues that were not dealt with at the time because of the substance abuse. I was very spontaneous. I had really drastic mood swings. I had suicidal thoughts, which did unfortunately turn into tendencies. And I would just lock myself away and hope that nobody knew I existed. Once I made the decision on my own to get clean and sober and better my life, I was diagnosed bipolar 1. I have severe depression, anxiety, and insomnia. Once everything surfaced and I decided to get help, it did take 4 years for everybody to help just get me even and mellowed out. In that time, though, I could not hold down a job or a place to live. After those 4 years, once I was finally feeling better physically, emotionally, and mentally, I was able to think clearly and realize, I grew up loving medicine. I've always been around medicine. It is still my passion. Once my head was clear, I was able to remember what it is that I loved, and that's what I still wanted to do. I loved everything about it. I believed in myself. I could now support myself, and that's when I realized it was time to grow up and do what I always wanted to do and should have done, and that was go to school. Being 30 years old and starting college, I did have to support myself and my two amazing dogs while I went to school, so I got a really good job working with FedEx. Because of my odd work schedule, I knew that I was not going to be able to attend my local state university, and I would have to do online classes. So I did some searching for a few weeks, and Herzing University kept coming up as one of the top medical assisting online universities. So I decided, I've had my CNA license. I wanted to do more. I wanted to be more hands-on. So medical assisting is what was going to get me to that next step. I decided also that after I get my medical assisting degree, I will work with it, and I'm going to further my education, and I really want to get my surgical tech license. And like I said, moving to Kenai is going to open up so many doors for me to be able to fulfill my dreams and get this done. Getting my medical assisting degree is definitely one of the most rewarding and best decisions that I've made for myself. While getting this degree, I've had to take a bunch of classes that I didn't think were going to be necessary to fulfill this degree, but I have learned way more than I was expecting to, and I'm super grateful for it. It's helped me think about different parts of medicine, where I wanted to truly end up, and I feel like I just have such a broad knowledge of all these different things, and it's amazing to me. I feel with this degree that I will have a sense of security knowing that the healthcare industry will be forever growing and always in demand, because it does take a special person to do this kind of job. And it being a job, it won't be a job to me. It'll feel more like a hobby than it will work, because it's something that I love. So clearly, even though it took a lot of trial and error and there were a lot of bumps in the road, I feel that I've ultimately ended up where I was supposed to. It just took me longer to get here. So if you really want to do something, you just need to do it, because truly the only thing stopping you is yourself. I overcame addiction. I'm still battling mental illness. I was homeless. I was broke, and I was broken. I never got any younger. Unfortunately, none of us do. And all of these things were just working against me, but my will to overcome and achieve was greater than anything. Look at me now.